Welcome to Born to Watch.
Welcome to Born to Watch, where three old mates, an ex-video shop owner, an industry insider, and a black belt in 80s kung fu movies put their mastery to the test on movies that changed the world.
Hey there, fellow watchers. I'd like to know your name. I'm Whitey, and welcome to 1985, where the hair is big, the clothes are terrible, and the music is frickin' amazing. The Wedding Singer burst onto the screen in 1998 and became an instant hit. A feel-good romantic comedy that transported us back to the greatest decade of all time and made us long for stonewashed jeans, mesh shirts, and fluoro colours. A time where wearing one glove meant something more than being a murder suspect. Let's meet the team. G-Man.
Very nice. I like that. Good intro.
Not bad, hey?
Good deep tone there.
Yeah, I'd like to know your name.
Very good. Good evening, everyone. Glad to be back in the panic room again.
Back in 85 and up there on the land, chomping on his steak frites, is down on the land. How are you, mate?
The film is set in 1985 and it's shot in 1998, and it seems like two different universes, right? So it's 2023 now. If we shot a film in 2010, it'd be the fucking same. What happened? Why doesn't culture change anymore?
Yeah, we actually was talking about that at home with Chrissy, going like, God, this is only 13 years after it was supposed to be, right? Like, it's just crazy. I think it changed so much.
Nothing has changed since, I reckon, 2006. Maybe 2000.
Like, not us. We're still in our prime.
Certainly we haven't changed. But
we're in our prime.
We're exactly the same.
Kids. Maybe for the kids.
Still extremely rootable. Look, we've gone from one extreme to the other. Last week, 3 billboards. What a great episode that was. In fact, I've had a little bit of feedback, Dan, you'll be happy to say. A couple people have said they thought it might have been our best episode yet. So we've now gone from 3 billboards to The Wedding Singer. What a culture clash.
Yeah, it's a change, isn't it?
Yeah. But I've got to say, this was a great rewatch. I enjoyed this a lot.
It's always an easy movie to rewatch this one. Very comfortable.
When we get to overs and unders, you'll be shocked at my numbers on this.
Okay.
So let's get to there. G-Man, we'll start with you. When did you first see The Wedding Singer, and what are your memories?
98. I know. I don't know when I first saw it. I know we saw it when it first came out. We might have been overseas. Morgs, I'm pretty sure we might have seen this one overseas.
Yeah, 98 you were missing.
Yeah.
I feel like we watched this on the couch with McCleary and Bowser at the Williams Lake Rugby Football Club when we were living there and playing semi-pro rugby. And remember, we hated those fuckers because we were downstairs and they just giggled all night and played video games till about 4 a.m, and we thought they were absolute fuckwits, but turns out they were legends.
Yeah, for the first night till we got on the piss with them.
That's right.
Then it was good.
That's why I don't trust people who don't drink piss, like Whitey. Like it just straight away. We hated those guys. We just thought, who are these fuckwits? Get me out of this interior British Columbia. It's full of knobs. All we did was play a game of footy with them. I did my hammy, and that was it. I didn't have to play again, which was good. No, sorry, my quad. But I was straight on the boat team with the G-Man. We did pretty good in the boat contest. Next thing, we're celebrities because we can throw piss down our throats, and everyone's best mates, and we're still mates with them to this day. So,
but hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. In 1998, I was deep in the piss sinking days. I was every Saturday night up at the Arms after Rats, sinking quite a few ales.
Having a couple of shandies.
Yeah, a few shandies. Yeah, a couple of Bacardi breezes.
You used to be a good
bloke.
What
were those things they used to have, the 2 dogs? Remember the 2 dogs?
Yeah, that hard lemonade.
Two dogs fucking?
2 dogs fucking.
What are you talking
So you guys reckon you might have seen this in Canada? I saw this at the movies in 98. This would have been... I'm not sure whether Megan might have been away because Megan was away for about 6 months in 98.
Yep.
So whether this was with the boys from footy, we've gone to see a romantic comedy, which might have happened. But where this really hit for me was when I had the video shop. This was a massive go-to in the video shop, a very easy watch. You could have this on at any time. But what would happen religiously is that I would put the movie on. I'd be out on the floor talking to people, working the room, being my Mayor of Avalon self. And then suddenly it would get to Sandler singing the song that he's sort of part cure, and then I would have to bolt from the corner of the shop, knowing that there's 50 kids in the store and he's going to get 1,000 fucks out. And I would invariably be jumping over the counter and around people to quickly turn the volume down for that. And people look at me going, what's going on with this mental case? And then he'd sing his song and then I'd just turn the volume back up. Yeah. So that's my lasting memory of The Wedding Singer, is running through the crowds to quickly turn the song down. Yeah. Anyway, the things we remember. Okay, overs and unders. We said this came out in 98, so it's 23 years old. I've set it at 20. We'll start with you, G-Man. Over and under 20 for The Wedding Singer.
I've got to be over 20 for this for sure, knowing that it's, what did we say, 25 years old?
Yeah, it is 25. It's 25 years old, 98.
Yeah, definitely over 20 for me. Again, one of those movies you've watched a long time. I haven't seen it for a while, but it's one of those before. It's so comfortable. You can just put it on. It can be something you've just got on in the background. It's an easy watch. There's some funny bits in it.
Yeah.
Some good songs.
Oh, the soundtrack's electric. It's one of the best. What about you, Dan? Over and under 20?
I have a problem with memory, as you know, and it's mainly due to lifestyle habits, but I don't think I've seen this 20 times. No, I'm going to go unders, but I could be out by 40 or 50 on that statement.
So it's either 10 or 50.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, I'm well overs. In fact, this could be in my top 5, or definitely be in my top 10 most watched movies, and a lot of that's got to do with the video shop times, where I might have watched it maybe 2 or 3 times a week, just had it on in the background. And, I'm going to count them. A lot of that stuff was I was doing big business stuff, like.
I enjoyed the video you posted. I actually made one of my very fleeting appearances on the social medias and checked out you running the pink shirt.
How good was it?
Was it a goatee? There was something.
No, it was a beard. It was the difference was that the beard was dark. That was the difference. It's now got a heavy shade of salt and pepper. And a lot more salt than pepper.
And there was quite a bit more hair on top as well.
There was a bit of hair on top.
You were still running the shave do into the beard.
Yeah, I've had a shaved head for a long time, even before it was required. Yeah. Now it's a necessity. I'm waiting for you to realise it is for you, gal. But you're getting there. You're getting there.
Please, mate, I'm in my prime.
I know, mate. I'm still. You could play our 10 tomorrow if you wanted to. It was enjoyable to go back and have a look at the video shop and see what went on. The guy was very excitable that interviewed me. Very excitable. A couple of people made similar comments about, when we talked about Star Wars being on the background, he looked like he got one away in his pants at the time. He was that's usually my answer to when they ask that question, but not someone else. But it was
similar
fun.
times. I guess if that we talked about what happened 13 years ago as difference in culture. I guess that's probably we weren't quite as individual media savvy, so you still had arse clowns like those two walking around producing videos that you could do a better job on your iPhone these days, Cheeks.
Yeah, it was definitely a brave new world for me. I looked at that and, mate, I've come just ahead in leaps and bounds in front of the camera. I looked a bit awkward and, didn't really know what to do. And now I'm just a consummate professional.
Oh, mate, you're killing it.
Just killing it. It's, one of the best.
And you mentioned you wanted to break into the industry in the videos. So which
how funny was that?
Industry?
Porn industry. Porn industry. We had a little R-rated shelf down the bottom there that a couple of scrubbies had come in and rent from. So I did laugh. I left that in on purpose because I was hoping that someone would pick that up. I've always wanted to be in the industry. And, we are 3 industry insiders here. And, so, it just might have taken a bit of time to get. I'd say we're in the industry now, aren't we? We're content creators in the entertainment industry.
Morgs is a heavyweight.
That's it.
Morgs is an absolute heavyweight in the industry. He's a titan. I'd say he's a titan.
We're at different levels, but I play down to you guys and the audience. So
exactly, mate. We're just coming in your slipstream there.
I tell you what was
you don't come anywhere near me, you freak. That was one time.
Not anymore. Not anymore. But But yeah, look, I must say I'm going to give a bit of a heads up and cheers to Gow here because I've been doing a bit of a guest hosting on, a bit of a guest spot on another podcast, the MCU's Bleeding Edge, my mates from Florida over there in the States. And the stars have aligned a couple of times and I've done a bit of Star Wars stuff with them. And just this weekend on Saturday, they were reviewing their first actual movie review. They did Bloodsport.
Really?
So they, of course, knew that we'd done Bloodsport. So they had thrown it out to me and I didn't think I could make the timing work. And at last minute, I decided, yeah, I can. So I went on there and they were talking about Tanaka and him being his
Tanaka-san.
Yeah, Tanaka-san being his his
Shitoshi.
Yeah, well, it was his coach. They go, his coach, and I go, no, boys. He was his Shitoshi. And I laughed to myself. Now, this was a YouTube live video that I was laughing at my own joke that they've got quite a following. They've got nearly 20,000 people that follow this channel. So these people were going, look at this knob, this guy from Australia laughing at his own joke. But yeah, anyway, so well done, Gal.
Yep. Shout out to Sensei Mark Greville.
Yeah, absolutely. Chroma Community Centre. All right, now enough gibbering. Let's listen to the trailer.
Before the internet, before cell phones, before rollerblades, there was a time
Everybody on the dance floor. Very nice, Grandma Molly.
when Robbie Hart was the most popular wedding singer around.
You spin me right round, baby, right round. Like a record, baby, right round, round, round. Hey, somebody get some pants on that kid.
Until he got stood up at his own wedding.
I woke up this morning and I realized I'm about to marry a wedding singer.
Once again, things that could have been brought to my attention
Yesterday.
New Line Cinema presents
Is it true that you're in the middle of a nervous breakdown?
Whoopity-doo.
Adam Sandler
Hey, Psycho, get out of my Van Halen t-shirt before you jinx the band and they break up.
and Drew Barrymore
You're the wedding singer.
How you doing? I'm Robbie.
I'm Julia.
in a story about finding love where you least expect it.
Uh-oh. What? You like her? No, I don't.
This is my fiance, Glenn.
I don't even know your last name. It's Gulia. Julia's last name's gonna be Gulia. Julia Gulia. That's funny. Why is that funny? I don't know. I just...
Now the girl of his dreams is about to marry Mr. Wrong.
That's grade A, top choice meat.
Good morning.
You can make breakfast for bed?
Unless he can pull off the performance of a lifetime.
She and Glenn just jumped a plane to Vegas. Go get her.
All right.
Okay, you see right there in that trailer what we're going to get. It's full of 80s music and terrible hair, but how good is it? Now, Gow, why don't you tell us about The Wedding Singer?
All right. Robbie works the crowd. Julia works the floor. He is a wedding singer, able to charm even the most reluctant Aunt Tilly into a dance. She is a waitress at parties where Robbie sings. Both are involved with others. Both are right for each other. Enjoy while Cupid works this out. The Wedding Singer has its heart on its sleeve and a goofy charm everywhere that includes its throwback look at the styles and sounds of the 80s. But a romance and a movie like this is made to last.
Yeah, where was that the back of the? What was that? Where was that description from?
That was the back of the DVD.
It was fucking boring.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not
A
good.
lot of short sentences.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
I picked it because it wasn't really very good.
Yeah, it was terrible. Okay, critical thinking. IMDb has The Wedding Singer rated at 6.9 out of 10, which is not bad. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's a 72% on the tomato meter and an 80% audience score, which is a bit more like it. Let's get up there. We've got a couple reviews here. A good one, Kevin Thomas from the LA Times. A sparkling romantic comedy, the kind of picture that glides by so gracefully and unpretentiously. And it's only upon reflection that you realize how much skill, caring, and good judgment had to have gone into its making. Yeah, I don't know about that, but
Yeah.
it's a pretty
Say
quite
gracefully or
glowing.
graciously?
Graciously.
Graciously.
Gracefully. Okay, bad. James Berardinelli from Real Views. Watching The Wedding Singer is like being force-fed an overdose of 80s culture and memorabilia coated with syrup. And
No.
you know what? I have nothing wrong with that. I see nothing wrong with that.
What was that guy's name?
James Berardinelli.
Bertie Dominelli's cousin.
Ferdy! Dominelli.
Oh,
Okay.
people, if you haven't seen it, go and look up Ferdy Dominelli on YouTube.
Yeah, the Ferdy Bird. It's one of the greatest 80s advertising campaigns.
Yeah.
Might even
Awesome.
be late 70s.
Yeah, it's
Ferdy
very
Bird.
early 80s.
Yeah. Okay, and we've still got ads like that up here on the Gold Coast. So, Gow, let's go to ordinary people. Why don't you tell us a bit about the cast of The Wedding Singer?
Okay, here we go. Adam Sandler. So he first hit our screens. He got a recurring role on The Cosby Show as the family friend Smitty in 87, 88. Smitty. Yeah, so and then was working comedy. He was a stand-up comic and he was discovered and recommended to Lorne Michaels at Saturday Night Live and then got onto that show and was actually performing and writing for the show. First big movie was Coneheads in 93. And then, then he just had it all through the early 90s. Airheads, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, cracker of a movie.
Yeah, love it. We haven't done it yet.
No, we'll definitely be covering that one. The Wedding Singer, then The Waterboy, another great movie. Little Nicky, Mr. Deeds.
I'm gonna I'm gonna have a look at that in Film School for F-Wits this week. So I thought we'd have a look at Adam Sandler bits, all his movies, of which there's a bazillion. So we'll do it really quick. But I think we should grade them skill, pick Swill, or Jack and Jill. So skill,
nice.
Obviously, if we love them, Pig Swill if they're a bit meh, and Jack and Jill in homage to his own film, which is currently the worst rated in film history on Rotten Tomatoes.
It should be.
If there's any others that live up to that Jack and Jill standard from his filmography, should be a fucking hoot.
Nice. Hey, here's one for you, Morgs. This is a short movie that he did. It was a movie about his dog that passed away. It's called A Day with the Meatball. sounds like a day. Sounds like a day up in Noosa.
Sunday, yeah.
Sounds like a day in the land.
Mate, M-Head, he hasn't been to boxing for a month. I don't know what's going on with that guy. I think he's on the Milo again with the bomb. Bomb. Just get us a 2 kilo down the servo, bomb. I need a 2 kilo Milo.
My God.
All right. So, do you want to go through the Adam Sandler movies at the end? Then
We'll do it in film school.
Yeah, let's go through that. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on then. We'll bounce right through there. Drew Barrymore's up next. Came to our screens early in '82 as Gertie in E.T.
Now this, I don't know about you two, but rewatching this was, I reckon, the last role where she looked like Gertie. So I could, she looked super, super young in this, and she had a bit of the puppy fat, and she just kind of reminded me of Gertie. Drew Barrymore didn't look like Gertie much longer after this, but I just felt.
Well, she's. I think this is her on the way out. So she's gone Gertie, superstar, alcoholic as a 10-year-old.
She was in Firestarter.
Yeah, but she becomes an alcoholic in her when she's 10 and she's to her early teens. She does Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy 92.
Yeah, and so where she doesn't look like Gertie, she looks like a massive whore. Tries to bone Viper, Tom Skerritt.
Yep.
And then this is her on the way back out of that phase, I think. And I agree, Morgs. She looks as much as Gertie as she has ever.
She kind of got back to that.
She's cute.
Sweet little look. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Have we done E.T. on this thing?
No, Megan keeps recommending it. She really
Oh,
wants
shout out to
Definitely
Moggy.
one to cover.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, so she was in Poison Ivy 2. We said Boys on the Side 95, Batman Forever, Scream 96, The Wedding Singer, Never Been Kissed, Charlie's Angels in 2000, Donnie Darko, 50 First Dates again with Adam Sandler.
Oh, who was she in Donnie Darko? I can't remember her in Donnie Darko.
She was Karen Pomeroy.
She's got a bit part. That explains it. Who the fuck is Karen Pomeroy?
I don't know. That's as far as it goes.
Bit part. Just remember, wafer thin. Gal's knowledge here is wafer thin.
Bit part actor.
That was, and he's just not that into you in 2009. So
yeah, he also did Blended with Sandler. He's done 3 films.
They've done 3 films.
I actually don't mind Blended. It's rubbish, but I think they're pretty good together.
They do have a good chemistry.
Yeah, there's a real good chemistry.
Yeah, and it's quite evident in this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, she was the youngest person to ever host Saturday Night Live. She hosted when she was 8 years old, or guest hosted.
She would have been on the nose beers too, for sure.
At 8.
Yeah, mate, she was bad news.
Yeah.
She was off the rails early.
Yeah.
Old Drew.
But a couple of sliding doors. She auditioned for the role of Carol Ann Freeling in Poltergeist, which went to Heather O'Rourke, the late Heather O'Rourke.
Yeah, died.
Yeah. And she also turned down the role of Naomi Malone in Showgirls, the Elizabeth Berkley role.
Thank God.
good decision. She didn't.
Elizabeth Berkley's terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
But,
She's been on Baywatch. I've been watching with Bill, and she's done
the new Baywatch.
No, the old Baywatch. I've been watching the originals, and I'm up to season 3 where Kelly Slater's on it, and Elizabeth Berkley plays this absolute fuckwit, right? And she's this rich bitch, and she's trying to trying to manage Kelly Slater, take him to the pros.
Yeah,
right. It is abysmal. I want to headbutt her every time she's on the screen. All I'm thinking is she's going to make Saved by the Bell shortly, then she's going to make Showgirls, and then she's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
please hurry up.
Saved by the Bell was the shining light.
It was. Old Screech.
Who have we got next? All right, well, Christine Taylor is a part of this movie. That's Ben Stiller's wife.
Well, they're separated now. I think they
got back together though. Did they? I think they got back together during COVID, or they separated during COVID, and mine got back together.
So her claim to fame was Brady Bunch, and she looks exactly like
Marsha.
Like Marsha.
Yeah,
It's uncanny.
Yeah. No, you're right. She was she actually her earliest TV role was, remember a show called Life Goes On with Corky Nesbitt?
I do remember it well.
Yeah, she did an early role in that as a drama student.
That was high rotation at Dan's place.
Obla dee, obla da.
Yeah.
Shout out to Corky.
Life imitating art up there at Woodward Street.
It certainly was.
But yeah, she did. She was actually in Friends as well. She played Bonnie. Remember the bald-headed Bonnie?
Yes.
That Ross takes to the beach.
Yeah.
But then obviously she's in Zoolander and Dodgeball as well.
Yeah, she's good in Dodgeball.
Yeah. Yeah, she's good.
She's a dyke. Riptorn thinks she's a dyke.
Now,
dip, dive, dodge, dip, dodge. The 5 Ds of Dodgeball. So good.
Next up is Alan Covert. Now that's Adam Sandler's mate. So
yeah, he's Sammy. He's Sammy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in all these movies.
Every movie that Adam Sandler's done, that's what he's done.
Yeah.
So we don't need to go through it.
He's a standout in this movie though, Sammy. I love him.
He's good.
I
love his Michael Jackson glove.
Oh my God.
He's got some good fashion in this movie.
Mate, he turns up in quite a few Sandler bits. There's one movie where he's put on like, I don't know, 80 kilos.
Yeah, he put on a heap of weight to do Little Nicky. He put on like 80 pounds to do Little Nicky.
Yeah.
And he did it, I think it was another one. It might have been Mr. Deeds as well. He put on 60 pounds for one, and he put on 80 pounds for another.
Wowzers.
Yeah. I've got to say, like, do you really need to go to that degree for a Sandler movie?
He's going to put you in the movie. Like, calm down.
He's getting the gig anyway, whether you look like a heifer or not. Like, you're getting the job.
Maybe Sandler's like, yeah, mate, you'll have to put on this weight to be in my
you know
movie.
what he is? He's Sandler's Christian Bale. That's what he is. Mate, I need you to put on 80 pounds. Done. I need you to lose 80 pounds. Done. Yeah.
But yes, all the way up to Just Go With It and Jack and Jill, he's been in.
He's in everything. Yeah.
There's another guy too. I can't think of his name, but he's the
guy who plays the quarterback. In Waterboy.
Yep, he's in
like,
everything as well.
And he's in 50 First Dates. He's like, in 50 First Dates, he's 10 second Tom or whatever.
No, this is Alan Covert. Yeah, he's 10 second Tom.
Yeah. And then he's also the other guy is a orderly in the hospital.
Yes, that's him.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah. Must be like schoolmates.
Yeah. So I think he's been in something like 14 films, but he's been a producer on six of those films as well.
He'd be a multi thanks to Sandler.
Yes.
So that's what we're waiting for with Morgs. We're waiting just to roll on the coattails with Morgs.
In the slipstream.
Useful mates.
Useful mates. Yeah, I got a few.
Company slipstream. Yeah.
Right in the slipstream.
Well, there's not really many other to talk about, really, is there?
No, not really. I mean, Matthew Glave as Glenn done a heap of TV jobbing. He was in Argo, had a role in that, but apart from that, he's just done a heap of TV stuff.
Yeah. Okay. What about budget and box office, G-Man?
All right. So this grossed 123 million, 80 million domestically on a budget of 18. So but the budget was 18. It did opening weekend, it did $18.8 million. So it made its money back in the first weekend. But we've done it 98 before, but this only put that into 30th spot, 123 million.
Yeah. So
the big movies of that year were Armageddon did the most, 554 million. Saving Private Ryan in second, 485. There's Something About Mary, which we've covered, 369. That was number 4. But the movie of the year was Shakespeare in Love. That took out all the awards. It won 7 awards, including Best Picture.
Joke.
I think it was Best Actress for Gwyneth Paltrow.
Joke.
Dame Judi Dench got Best Supporting Actress.
Joke.
Spielberg got Best Director for Saving Private Ryan.
Thank God.
Yep. Fantastic. Robert Benigni for Life is Beautiful.
Roberto Benigni danced on the stage.
That's the one.
Yep. Life is Beautiful is an amazing film. Megan told me for 10, 20, or probably 15 years, you got to watch this movie. You got to watch this movie. I was like, subtitle movie. And I watched it. I was like, yeah, I should have probably watched it 15 years ago. Yeah, it's good. Is that it?
Yep, that's it.
Okay, well done. Okay, we'll do 1998 hit sleeper dud. It was quite easy, this one, and I've got one hit. I've got a couple sleepers, and I've got one dud, which I'm going to be interested to see what Morgs thinks about it.
Bring it.
Okay, so the hit for 1998, righting the wrongs of the Academy, Saving Private Ryan. Spielberg, Hanks, Sizemore, Damon, Diesel, Burns, Pepper, the cast of superstars to be, superstars of the day. It's in Spielberg's top 5 movies he's ever made. Obviously following the Normandy landings, group of US soldiers go to try and find Private Ryan. It's amazing. The Normandy beach landing made...
that first scene, I remember watching that just going, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
It's so realistic.
Yeah, made veterans leave the cinema in tears.
Yep.
Had people being sick. Incredible scene. Just how he did that is
just
amazing.
watching that. You're just stuck in your seat, aren't you? I just remember being in awe of that.
I'll tell you a story on that. Is that Daniel and I went and saw that in a midweek screening at George Street Cinema, and when it first opened, it might have been on opening day. I think I met you after uni one day, Dan.
Yeah, right.
And we went into the city and saw that. But then on the Sunday that it came out, Megan and I had gone to the movies to see it, and then as we were leaving the cinema, you were there, Gow, and you were going in to see it with a girlfriend, and we just decided that let's go see it again. So we just turned around and walked in with you and set up. The cinema's chockers. They've sold tickets that 2 people couldn't get into because we just walked in and sat in the back row with you guys and watched it again straight afterwards. So I saw it 3 times in the first 4 days. So my love affair with Saving Private Ryan goes very deep.
Well, that was my hit as well. That's what I had.
Yep.
It was a pretty easy one.
Which girlfriend was it, Gow? Was it a short-term one or a long-term one? Was it a 10? Was it a 9? What do you remember?
Please, Morgs. We got to stop this false narrative that comes out.
Okay, 1998.
False narrative.
1998.
No, we should talk about, this being the wedding singer, we should talk about a bloke that writes songs. Let's talk about a bloke that writes songs, talking about wooing the chicks.
We talk about his songs all the time.
Maybe we'll
In
get
fact,
a bar out.
do you know what was funny, Morgs? You'll appreciate this, is that, like, I remember back to when we first met and I finally talked to you, right? And I was having a chuckle with Gow about that. Do you know that he remembers the whole fucking song?
Oh, he's a fucking...
He sung me the whole song. So,
of course I do. It's like Ice Ice Baby. You know all the words. All the words.
So, Morgs, don't be
I
surprised.
wrote the fucking thing and I don't know all the words.
Yeah,
so.
well, that's not surprising, right? You don't know whether you wiped your bum this morning. But don't be surprised, possibly, if in a kick-ass credit song that this comes up.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, out there to be careful.
I'm going to be nice to the Gow now. It's
be nice to the G-man.
Yeah,
be nice to the G-man.
He's always got one over me with his fucking memory cock.
19.
I've just got that up the sleeve, but there has been mooted a
mate. I was blown away.
A song in the key of
You've got a moot.
Sleeper, 1998 Sleeper, basketball.
Yeah, I saw that basketball. Yeah.
South Park brains, Trey Parker, Matt Stone, 2 childhood friends develop a brand new sport, a melding between basketball and baseball. It's really freaking funny. It is so just off the charts, typical South Park humor. It's quite lewd, it's quite rude, but if you've not seen it, which I'd be surprised if no one wouldn't have, it's really worth visiting. It's hilarious.
There's some wrong parts in that.
Very
movie,
wrong.
isn't there? I remember watching it go, oh, wow.
Yeah, very, very wrong.
For the time.
Yeah. Okay, my other sleeper, because I got 2 sleepers. This is one for Dan. Out of Sight. Clooney and J-Lo.
Clooney, yeah.
Career bank robber breaks out of jail, shares a moment of mutual attraction with a US Marshal that he's kidnapped and spends the time in the boot with. It's really good.
Very good.
Really, really good.
Is it a James Elroy bit? I can't remember who.
Yeah, it is a James Elroy bit. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, my dud for the year. 1998 dud for the year. The Thin Red Line. Terrence Malick. Vietnam War film. If there is a more boring director Terrence Malick's?
Yes.
I was also in
Oh,
that
it's
space. Yeah.
Terrence Malick's. If there is a more boring director in the history of cinema, I'd love to be argued
There's
against.
a lot of style there. So he's actually, I don't know if you've seen The Tree of Life, but it's had a bit of a second wind lately with people
It shouldn't.
suddenly
It shouldn't.
realising that it should be a bit more revered than it was. Yeah, look, it's different. I mean, right back to, what was his, Heaven's Gate or Heaven Could Wait? What was
Heaven's
it?
Gate.
Heaven's Gate, yeah.
Heaven's
So
Gate.
he's always been massively about style and a little thin on. I heard a rumour that The Thin Red Line, he didn't even have the ending written when he went into filming. Like he just literally pointed the camera at him and sort of made it up as he went.
Well, it was filmed in Australia, The Thin Red Line. It was filmed
on
up
the
in
Goldie,
Cairns.
was it? Cairns, okay.
Yeah, up in Cairns. And Woody Harrelson's in it. It's got a massive all-star cast. Now, the thing with Terrence Malick's is that he gets massive and incredible casts because he is this revered filmmaker from within the industry.
They look him out.
I've had many an argument with people about how boring he is. And I think he's a bit like Wes Anderson, Torps, that people just like him because it's cool to like him.
Oh, no, I'm with our friend Nicholas Torpy on that. I'm a big Wes Anderson's fan as well, and he definitely has a lot of style about him, but I wouldn't compare those two necessarily. But I know where you're coming from.
Yeah, okay. So they're my hits, sleepers, and duds for 19.
I got another sleeper.
Go for it.
So Snake Eyes.
That's
That's
Nicky
a film.
Cage.
Brian De Palma. It's a film I revisit, I reckon, once a year. And every time I'm like, fuck, I really like this movie. And then I remember and I watch it. And it's just Nick Cage just playing a character that is just racked to the eyeballs the whole time, whilst he's racked to the eyeballs the whole time, one would posit. It's just, Nick Cage just over the top, just giving her a bit. If you haven't seen it in a while, or heaven forbid, have never seen it, go and check it out. Definitely 1998, farted out some pretty special movies. I'm just looking through it at the moment.
I've got a sleeper.
Yeah,
I've got a sleeper for you.
Go.
The Big Lebowski.
Oh, of course.
The Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I watched it just thinking, that's so odd, but it just grows on you. And all the characters in it. It's a really good movie. I mean,
it's very off kilter.
Very. I mean, but that bowling scene, like
mate,
it's just so,
John Goodman should have won an Academy Award for that.
John Goodman doesn't make a bad movie.
No, he doesn't.
He's an awesome actor. Julianne Moore's good in it. Obviously, the dude.
Everyone's good in it.
So Big Lebowski.
Steve Buscemi.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Yeah.
Big Lebowski was only the 98th most freight makingest movie in domestically in the States in 98. And Rounders I just saw, which is another film I love and probably watch once a year. I want my fucking money, fucking 79. It came in with 22 million. So
sorry, you're talking about the Malkovich, Damon.
That's right.
Norton
That's right.
films,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
the
Not
autobiography
Gow's
of Gow's Mate.
No,
not
this.
Gow's Mate.
Right. Oh, yeah. Right. That is a good movie, and apparently that when Malkovich came on set for the first time and started talking, like no one knew what he was saying.
Yeah.
So it's
it's fantastic.
It is very good, actually.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a really good
Pay
pretty
that
dark.
man his money. Fuck
yes.
Yeah, awesome.
Gretchen Mol, very patient woman until she's not. Okay. Anything else? I think we're good there. That's a pretty good list of movies there.
Yeah.
Okay, question time. Is Sammy's red leather getup the best costume in cinematic history?
Yeah.
It's got 17 zippers on it. It sort of wants to be Michael Jackson, but it's not. Eddie Murphy Delirious, but it's not.
Is that the one he wears to the party?
Yeah, he wears it twice.
He wears it to the first party with the Michael Jackson
Yes,
glove.
yeah.
I took that as Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Say hi to your brother. Say hi to your brother
Say hi
Tito.
to Tito.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Wait, I got one.
Julia,
I got
yeah.
more. I got one more point to make about the box office in 1998. Shakespeare in Love came in at 156th place with a $6 million box office there. So I think it must have been released in 97, and this is a carryover because that can't.
No, it
be
wasn't.
Right. Wow.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
No, it
And
got the awards, mate.
It
Got all the
was.
awards
It
for
was
that year.
Weinstein. It was Weinstein's greatest ever accomplishment.
Yeah.
That or Rose McGowan, one of them. But
Boom tish.
or Jennifer Lawrence. but probably Jennifer Lawrence, to be honest. But look, yeah, no, a joke, an absolute mark. It was. I'll tell you what it was. It was a absolute education in how to market a film.
Yeah.
That's what he did. So it should never have won. Saving Private Ryan should have won.
100%.
Yeah. Okay, Julia or Holly? Who are you taking? I know we'll probably get to this in quick fire, but do you go for the good girl or do you go for the easy catch? I like Holly. I think she's a great sort.
Holly, the friend.
Yeah.
Not the ex-wife. Oh, Linda's the ex-wife.
Linda's the ex-wife.
Yeah, not Linda.
Yeah. Julia, Drew Barrymore, or Christine Taylor? Who are you taking? Come on, Gow.
Christine Taylor.
Yeah, okay. Morgs?
Yeah, Julia. No, I don't want either of them.
Okay, all right. Fair enough. All right. Okay, so is this the best soundtrack of all time? Now, I'm going to give you something to go against, but I just want to run through the songs that's on this soundtrack. Now, it was released as a 2-disc soundtrack. Video Killed the Radio Star. Do You Really Want to Hurt Me? Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic. Hold Me Now. Every Day I Write the Book. White Wedding. China Girl. Blue Monday. Pass the Dutchie. Too Shy. It's All I Can Do. True. Space Age Love Song. Flock of Seagulls. Private Idaho. You Spin Me Round. Just Can't Get Enough. Love Stinks. You Make My Dreams. Hall & Oates, The Greatest. And Holiday. Right? That's just, and there's more songs on the 2 CDs.
You didn't get Don't Stop Believing.
No. Listen.
Okay.
Listen. That's done at the end with the wedding.
No, that's at his wedding when he gets left at the altar.
Yeah. So then there's songs and renditions that are in the movie that aren't on the soundtrack. 99 Luftballons. Till There Was You. Don't Stop Believing. Boys Don't Cry. All Night Long. Ladies' Night. Do You Believe in Love? Huey Lewis. Miami Vice theme. Hungry Heart, Bruce Springsteen. Wake Me Up Before You Go. Right? It's hard to argue that this, I don't know it's a slice of 80s, but it's hard to argue it's not the greatest soundtrack of all time. Couple that you can think of. Pulp Fiction. Jungle Boogie, You'll Be a Woman Soon. It's an incredible soundtrack. Trainspotting. Lust for Life, Born Slippy, Perfect Day. The Beach. Songs from Blur, Moby, All Saints. And the song from All Saints for The Beach was an absolute hit. The song that Moby does for The Beach, I think I got married to. This Is Spinal Tap. And Purple Rain. There's some pretty epic soundtracks there. Does it sit amongst that? Daniel.
My favourite soundtrack at the moment, and I do change it up a bit, but it is from the movie that you can't stand, from Richard Linklater, Everybody Wants Some, that I watch all the time, and a lot of it is to do with the excellent soundtrack. So, I mean, just to take a handful, Cars by Gary Newman, Rip It by Devo, Because the Night by Patti Smith, Cotton Eye Joe, Bo Smith, Bad Girls by Donna Summer, Ladies' Night by Kool and the Gang. Just a ripping soundtrack from Mr.
That's a good one.
So, that's probably my
shit
favourite
movie,
moment.
good music.
Excellent.
G-Man, what are your thoughts?
Yeah,
Those are the ones
you'd be the Mad Wax soundtrack, wouldn't you?
Oh, definitely. It's just Ganga Jang's album,
It
isn't
all
it?
falls down like a
house of cards. We'll stop those angry words. Yes, that's just Ganga Jang. So that I listened to that album a lot. Getting back to your question, this movie is just pure 80s songs.
Yeah.
Very different to some of the other ones you said.
Yeah.
Where it's just a little bit more contemporary, I guess, or a bit different. As just 80s, then yes, this is right up there. Are there any other movies you can think of that are just pure 80s?
Well, I think this sort of starts the trend of diving back into the decade, right?
Yeah.
Because there's quite a few movies after it that use it. And even now today, quite a few movies get made that are with very strong 80s soundtracks. It's a great decade for music. It really is. It's very eclectic.
Stranger Things did well with their music, I thought.
Yes.
So that was another one that borrowed heavily from its time frame.
Absolutely. Let's move into the categories. The good, the bad, and the ugly. We're going to start with the G-Man tonight. The good. What do you got?
Good luck finding a DJ shake and move like this.
John Lovitz.
John Lovitz is awesome.
Yeah.
That song is so good.
Oh God, that was my ringtone when I had the video shop. That was my ringtone.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I love that whole song.
Shaka Khan.
What's the song he sings? Is it?
What? This is Ladies' Night.
Yeah,
This
ladies,
is ladies' night, and the feeling's right. Oh, this is ladies' night. Oh, what a night.
I love sophisticated mama. John Lovitz is so good.
So good.
So
Very
good.
funny.
The other one I got is the quick scene of the DeLorean.
Yes.
When Glenn comes out and picks her up when she's drunk.
How
and he's
good's the music
in the DeLorean?
How good's the music
Yeah.
playing when he opens the door? The Miami Vice theme.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, reruns.
Conversely, that was my bad. Conversely.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
was his Miami Vice outfit.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Dan, what do you got?
I just had, I always like it when you find out that a comedian, a star, an actor can actually sing, and it makes it quite enjoyable. So Adam Sandler was very enjoyable for all his renditions, but when he wrote his own songs, I thought that was where he really came to his own. And he reminded me of Eddie Murphy and his "My girl wants to party all the
Party
time,
all the time.
party all the time, party all the time." No, it was just good to see. He had a bit of talent. Reminded myself of myself. I was actually going to learn the chords for his what's the one? The Love Sucks.
I want to grow old with you.
Yeah, I want to grow.
Love
yeah.
Stinks.
Yeah, Love. So I was going to learn it to Love Stinks and sing it tonight, but it couldn't be fucked. So maybe I'll do it in
Okay.
a future episode. But yes, enjoyed Adam's musical talents for sure.
Yeah.
Is it also because he looks uncannily like you with that hairdo?
It's and it is an excellent hair. He's mate with a mustache. I reckon he's more me, but
Sammy.
his was good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a good blow away boof, that one.
Yeah. My good is the opening scene. So again, we start essentially they hide a montage within a musical number, and you just get to see what's going on at the wedding. You get to understand what he does. You get to see what he's doing, how good he is. I love it. And they use a whole song, bold move, the whole song, and it's cracker. Right? Straight away, you're like, yeah, this guy rocks. Robbie, he's the man. Love it. Love the soundtrack. I've already mentioned that. Love the 80s. Just love the 80s. The greatest decade of all time.
Unbeatable.
It's without doubt. Without doubt. I think the lead, Sandler and Barrymore, their chemistry is great. And I've got another couple scenes. I've already said everything about Sammy. I just love Sammy, his best mate. I love it when he, and we'll get it to when he's trialing to be the limo driver and he has to get out and he's running with the dummy and he shoves her in the thing and then he goes, but you just, you just ran over some cones, look at people. But there were cones.
And they just walk off. Yeah.
It's so good. He goes, he's going to get the job anyway. I love John Lovitz. But the wedding, the first wedding back when he's depressed and he's seeing Madonna's Holiday.
Yes.
Holiday. It is so fucking funny.
Yeah.
And then the run-in with the father of the groom, it's just so good. You are the worst wedding singer I've ever seen. It's the best. They're my good. The first third of this movie is excellent.
Yeah.
The first third of this movie is really excellent. It does suffer in the middle third from a bit of romantic comedy trope.
Well, it has to go through the typical recipe
For sure.
formulation of a movie. But yeah, the first part's always
Yeah,
the
the
best
first
of that.
third is amazing. Okay, so what do you got for bad? We'll go with you, Dan, to start with.
Well, I think you both just nailed it in one. It's like a paint by numbers film. If you really break it down, what's happening, it's every single romantic comedy that's ever lived, which is just been thrust into this setting that he's painted into the 80s. So it's got. I mean, a 5-year-old would have seen these tropes before and would be able to predict what's going to happen next in the film, down to them finding other partners, them both not realizing their love for each other until right at the end, blah blah blah. It's just unfortunately, if you look at it critically, that it's very it's very apparent that it is a very, very basic and exhaustive plot line that comes out of the 1930s romantic comedies that sort of went away for a while, but came back with a vengeance in the 80s and 90s and to this day. So yeah, that's probably a shame when you look at the movie critically to realize how basic it is.
Yeah, absolutely. G-Man?
Glenn's mate. Staying at the party goes,
Oh, the
you're
one.
going to be so wasted. You don't know what's going on anyway. He's a tool bag.
Yeah, he's a tool bag.
He's a tool bag.
There's a few tool bags in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah. Alabama Slammer.
That's right.
See you at the bar.
Yeah. That Miami Vice outfit is
Oh,
so bad.
he
It's
loves
almost good.
Yeah, it's a highlight. The jacket t-shirt.
Yeah.
I've got Robbie's voice, just not his singing voice, just his talking voice.
Oh.
He doesn't move his
It's really,
teeth.
yeah, it's
Like-
it's
yeah.
it's understated and it just talk a bit like
I think-
this. Yeah,
Yeah, I think
I
think I'm
agree.
in there
Yeah,
with
that
you.
grated on me
And
this
it's-
watch for sure.
And I actually thought that he could have been a ventriloquist dummy. Like his mouth never moved when he spoke. And I actually really started to focus on it and on the second half of the movie. I'm like, he just doesn't move his teeth. He doesn't open his mouth. It's only when he sings does he open his mouth to project. Everything's like, and I'm like, come on, mate. Like, you're better than this. That annoyed me a little. I've also got, I've got Sandler's wig as bad, but it's so bad that it's sort of good.
Yeah.
But it's a bad wig, but he wears it well. He's got the right head for that wig. Sort of, he pulls it off. Okay. Ugly. Anyone? G-Man, we'll start with you. Anything for ugly?
No, I didn't have anything for ugly.
Okay. Morgs, anything for ugly?
Yeah. So when he's talking to Linda, and Linda says to him, I just realised that I don't love Robbie now. I love Robbie 6 years ago when you were in a band and you had your spandex on. That would take him into 1979. And there was no hair metal in 1979. Fucking bullshit. I don't know. It's great. It's been like in the back of my mind every time I've seen this movie, knowing that there was something that wasn't quite right. And finally, bam, it got me this time round. So Linda and Adam Sandler, you fucked that one up.
Yeah, okay. I've got one. I've got the bride at the first wedding looks like Arancha Sanchez Vicaria.
She does. Is she the one with the headband?
With the headband.
Yeah, the headband.
If you go back and look at it, she is a spitting image of Arancha Sanchez Vicaria. In fact, there could have been a documentary of her wedding. Right? I actually think I didn't go through the credits. I wouldn't be surprised if she's Arancha Sanchez.
And are they the ones that are
Nee
sitting
Vicario.
on the big chairs? On those big.
Yeah. Oh, no. That's the second
that's
one
the
when
second
he's
one.
miserable.
Yes.
She's the first one when Steve Buscemi gets up and goes, yeah, he wasn't all a good guy. I think you call them prostitutes.
Buscemi's awesome in this too.
He's
I want to
very
add
good.
him into my good.
Yeah, uncredited.
Yeah.
I'm a person too, Dad.
Hey, wedding singer.
Yes,
Yeah,
totally
very
agree
good.
on Arancha Sanchez Vicaria. I have not thought
Yep.
of that name in many years. So
Well, there you go.
well
That's
played.
what I'm here for, to dredge up
Remember
terrible
when
memories.
you could name the top 10 male and female tennis players in the world quite easily?
Yeah.
I couldn't. I don't think I'd really struggle to name one female and more than three males. So it's ridiculous.
Well, there was so much less to do in the 90s.
That's right.
There was less sports. There was less stuff to entertain us with.
We watched a lot of tennis back then.
We
A lot of
did.
tennis.
You did watch a bit of tennis, yeah. We had a lot of spare time. Okay, I've also got ugly. I've got the final scene on the plane is really, really ultra terribly corny,
Yes.
but I still found myself drawn into it. But it's just, it has to be mentioned how it's a bit,
Where did he get the guitar from?
well, it's Billy's.
It's Billy.
It must be Billy's.
But he's got it on in the
Oh,
plane.
Billy can do what he wants.
So I
The
did
first class passengers get to do whatever they want.
until this viewing. I always thought that was a Billy Idol impersonator in the film. I honestly did not know it was the actual Billy Idol until this viewing, and I did a bit of research. I was like, oh fuck, because I thought he looks so bad. He looks kind of like Billy Idol, but that's because it was Billy Idol.
He's not far from the worst NRL grand final either. Only a few years later does he do that.
Meatloaf was AFL.
Meatloaf was AFL.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the worst performance of all time. Yeah.
Awesome.
Our kick-ass credit songs are better than his performance. But, look, and there was Chekhov's Billy Idol at the start of the movie too, which I chuckled on. I go, Chekhov's Billy Idol, there we go. Okay, enough for the for good, the bad, the ugly. Let's move into Morgs's quick fire.
Yes.
Take it away, Dan.
F-wits. Let's get right into this quick fire. First up, it's That's Not a Knife from Crocodile Dundee. You all know the scene. You all know what Michael J. Crocodile Dundee does with his knife. And he does take apart a jacket very similar to Sammy's, if you do remember. But that scene managed to pass over into popular culture. Did anything from The Wedding Singer? I throw it to you boys, go.
Oh, look, I'm going to say no, apart from the the use of 80s songs. It's real. I think this movie paved the way for a real high rotation of 80s music moving forward in movies. Even now, like I've got one for If You Like This, which is actually a pretty modern movie, but other than that, from a scene perspective, none.
Nah,
Zero.
Agreed. Gow.
Thoughts?
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, nothing really took me. Philip Stuckey from Jason Alexander's character in Pretty Woman as a massive douchebag. Anyone in this movie that really reminded you or was in the same vein, a bit of a dipshit?
Oh, Glenn Goulia.
Glenn and his mate.
Yeah,
Glenn's
I'm
mate.
with
all
Gow
Glenn's
on Glenn's mate because Glenn Goulia is a knob, but Glenn's mate is just he's a sycophant on the knob. So yeah, I agree with you on that one, G-Man.
Yep, good call.
Next one's the cast of Caddyshack for a favoured film of one John J. Hightower, who loves that film but agrees that most of the cast don't actually agree on what film they're in. So was there anyone in this film you thought wasn't quite sure what was happening and didn't get the tone and thought they were in another film entirely?
I didn't think he was bad in the role. I thought he was good as the brother-in-law, but I can't get out of my head looking at Tommy Carbone not hanging up in the meat truck. Like every time I see him, I just see him frozen in the back of the Goodfellas van.
I 100% agree, Gow. I don't know why he's in the movie. I don't understand it. It's very strange. It's setting him up for that bit he does about Sandler's sister, Robbie's sister, and they like to get freaky, but he doesn't really say anything
the nipple play.
Damning. Anyway,
he's got to move out of there.
Yeah, so
he's got to move out of there.
Totally
It's
agree.
a funny.
Strange.
I think it's a funny casting because you're so used to seeing him in some of those wise guy roles, those mafia roles, but he's actually quite liked in the role. It's so out of place because you're so used to seeing him.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Other iconic things.
I think everyone else is pretty onto it. The old duck was definitely going for it. There was she was certainly over the top, but I'm going to give her a pass. She was 80.
She was probably thinking this is my last shot.
Yeah.
Mate, she passed away in 2015 at the age of 101.
Wow, well played.
Yeah, so she made a fair way.
She was a clean living.
Hip to the hip up.
Excellent.
I'll tell you what. The whole penis scene. I was crying. I'd forgotten about
that. Ripley running. All hail Sigourney Weaver in our favoured flick, Aliens. She's brilliant. We love strong female leads, but she cannot run for shit. Was there anyone in this film that displayed a very poor athletic prowess that we need to remind our fellow F-wits of?
Oh, what about the old digger's punch?
Yes.
That was...
I used to be much stronger.
I think that was reasonably pathetic. Yes, I'm going to give you that. Gow, anyone for you?
No, that's it.
Yeah, brilliant. All right, Robot Sentries. We stay with Aliens for an extra scene that you might want to see that tells us a bit about the universe that Robbie inhabits with his mates in New Jersey. I mean, I don't think I needed to know anymore. There was enough Captain Exposition in there to tell us what we needed to know. Boys, anything you wanted to see? No.
Agreed with you there.
Nothing.
And we kind of did Whitey's Brad Pitt earlier, but was there anyone else that really stood out for you guys? So, I mean, I couldn't get past Gertie when I was looking at Drew Barrymore, so that definitely counted her out. Ben Stiller's wife, yeah, she was just Marsha, but good sort. The dudes, there wasn't really any dude that stood out that would Brad Pitt it for you. So Linda was the one for me.
I like Christine Taylor.
I'm sure they're stoked if they're listening to this and they're like chalking it up as one for them. So that was quick fire. Thank you, F.
Okay, well done. Good quick fire. And we're going to move into a listen to this. The G-Man, we'll start with you. What do you got?
All right, I got here a bit of sliding doors on Glenn Goulia. So that role was originally written with Jim Carrey in mind. But they also wanted, so Frank Carracci actually wanted Christopher McDonald to play it, but Adam Sandler pushed back on that because he just said, mate, you're just going to be known as Shooter.
He's too old too.
Well, that was the other thing. He's 20 years older than Drew Barrymore, but he just said, no, you're kind of typecast as that, doing another movie with me. So he hasn't appeared in anything else, I don't think, without it. They're friends, but I don't think he could get him past that.
He's so good in Shooter. Iconic.
Yeah,
iconic dickhead.
Just so good. But yeah, that's my one.
Okay, what about Carrie Fisher, Judd Apatow, and Adam Sandler worked uncredited on the script? So Carrie Fisher was brought in to beef out the romance side of it and write the female character for Drew Barrymore. She was quite a script doctor, Carrie Fisher.
Yeah,
she
she
did
did
a
a lot,
lot
didn't
of
she?
stuff in the
Super,
background.
super talented. Rest in
Yeah,
peace.
no one knew
What
about.
Yeah,
No one
what
knew
a,
about.
and an author as well, and yeah, really interesting
Yeah.
kitten,
Definitely.
in fact.
Definitely. Cat S. Right, okay. So Robbie tells Linda at one point, get out of my Van Halen t-shirt before he jinxed the band and they break up. David Lee Roth left Van Halen in 85. So she apparently jinxed the band and David Lee Roth
That
left
was a good
and they
joke.
became Van Hagar,
Yeah.
which I think is a better version than the Lee Roth Van Halen myself. And Steve Buscemi and John Lovitz's performances are uncredited as well, but in the credits they are put as sung by John Lovitz and
Yep.
Steve Buscemi for
Yep.
their two songs that they do. Obviously, Buscemi does True at the end of the movie, and for John Lovitz's Ladies' Night, which is probably one of the highlights of the movie.
It's great.
Yeah,
It's a great scene.
yeah. And you mentioned the DeLorean, which was,
DeLorean,
came out in the same year. It was 85 when Back to the Future comes out in 85. So, yeah.
Another quick one was Betty White was considered for the role of Rosie.
Yeah,
Now-
yes.
I could see that. I
Yeah.
mean, Betty White could play that very, very easily.
Absolutely. Well, she plays a similar role to that in Lake Placid,
Yes.
where she's
yes.
she's the one who's feeding the alligator. Yeah. And what about that when Robbie and Julia first kiss? They have that church tongue kiss. They're actually the music in the background is "I Want to Grow Old with You," which is
Yes. Yeah.
pointing
Which
to
is the song
to
that he sings,
sings at the end. What about you, Dan? You got anything for listen to this?
Oh, just you mentioned the soundtrack. So it was actually #1 in Australia, the Wedding Singer soundtrack album. So did resonate with our fellow Antipodean F-wits. So that was interesting. And it was also made into a musical recently, which it was performing in Australia. I think it may have had some issues with COVID. Oh, you went and saw it. Please.
Yeah, I saw it.
Tell us about it.
Okay, so I played at Hota, and Megan and I went and saw it, and we had a date night, just her and I.
Yep.
Maybe 6 or 8 months ago, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to leave.
Yeah.
I was hoping that it would be effectively, we got all these amazing songs, right? So make the musical around the songs and sing the songs and do the movie and all, but no, and it must be a rights issue and it must be just a financial decision that they went.
Oh, I'm
it's
sure it
all
is.
original
Yeah,
songs.
yeah.
It's all original songs. It's really rubbish.
Wow.
I actually did not enjoy it at all. And I'm a big musical guy.
You
I
are.
love a bit of.
You are.
I love a musical. I've seen heaps of them live, and
Yeah.
I was really pumped about this, and it was shit.
Yeah.
Even Megan said it was shit.
I did unfortunately feel that would be the case. So, yeah, I thought that was interesting, though. But, yeah, I think you're right. It would have been just prohibitively expensive to try and use those tracks in it. So, instead, they wrote shit ones. Yay.
Yeah, not good at all. Quotables, G-Man? We'll start with you.
Oh, can I go first? I've only got one.
Yes.
Go, Dan.
It made me crack up in the revisit. But when the little king says, "Hey, Linda, you're a bitch," I reckon Gow said that about 400 times.
That was the only one I wrote down to say. and then he after it, he goes, "Yeah, you might have Tourette syndrome. We're looking into it."
We're looking into it.
Cuckoo's nest.
Oh,
Hey, Linda, you a bitch.
You're a bitch.
It's the best.
So good. Okay. I've got a couple then. I love Robbie when he starts Love Stinks, Cindy and Scott are newlyweds. Whoopity-doo. And then I love it when after Glenn punches Robbie on the street and he goes, you should write a song about this. You could call it, I got punched in the nose for sticking my face in other people's business. And the old man in the bar goes, sounds like a country song.
And he does a little jig when he says it too. He's such a cock.
Oh, I know. He's such a wanker.
Yeah.
And then I just had I've already used it. There were cones. I used to love that. That's very
I
funny.
laughed at the end when Buscemi's singing. He's singing True at the end. Yes. I know this much is true. Oh, yes, I do. Robbie and Julia. It's the best.
Yeah. Very, very good. Very, very good. Okay. That's about enough for that. What about film school? for F-wits. Take it away, Dan.
Yes, fellow F-wits. This week I thought we'd look at the filmography of Adam Sandler because he has been so prolific. And recently he's done a deal with Netflix, which looks like all he has to do is point a camera at his mates and just, I reckon they write the scenes the morning each day of the shoot. He just churns out absolute pizzle and gets hundreds of millions of dollars for it. But in and amongst the shite, there is some gold. So I thought we're just going to go through really quickly, and I'm going to start in 1995 because he did a few movies before then. But I think for us, Billy Madison was probably where it kicked off with us noticing Adam Sandler. So we're going to do it real quick though because we could be here forever. So all I want from you guys is skill, pig swill, or Jack and Jill. So skill, obviously, if it's skill, I am skill. It is skill. The movie is skill. Nick is skill, etc. Pig swill for it's pretty shit. You'd feed it your pigs. It's not good. And Jack and Jill, which is actually a movie by Adam Sandler, which Rotten Tomato has as the worst movie on record on Rotten Tomatoes. So Jack and Jill would be, is there anything comparable to that anti-zenith of a film that he created? So let's kick it off. We're going to start in 1995. So all I want from you is skill, pig swill, or Jack and Jill. Billy Madison, go.
Pig swill.
Pig swill.
Pig swill, excellent. All right, next one, 1996. I think we're gonna go up a bit. Happy Gilmore. For me, it's a skill.
Skill.
3 skills.
It's a skill.
Yeah, excellent. Whitey, favorite scene in Happy Gilmore?
Oh, there's not a. To me, it's a lot of it is Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
Ben Stiller in the old folks' home is very good. But anything with Shooter McGavin.
Yeah.
Anything with Shooter McGavin, he is unbelievably good. 5-0, huh? Your fave.
There's just so many good lines in that movie.
God.
Like,
I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. You eat pieces of shit for breakfast?
Mate, it's
completely ad lib.
So good.
Skill, 3 skills.
Stay out of my way.
Bulletproof in 96. Do you guys remember Bulletproof? It was a bit of a buddy cop one.
Damon Wayans.
Yeah, Damon Wayans. I'm going to give it pig swill.
Pig swill for me.
Pig swill.
Yeah, nice. Wedding Singer, 1998. I'm going to reserve this. I think we should hang on. Good to see. This is the whole point of the fucking podcast. We might stop there. Do you remember Dirty Work with? It was directed by Bob Saget. I don't remember it, so I can't really give it a.
No, I don't remember. I don't remember Dirty Work.
No, but in 1998, it was actually also released The Waterboy, which I'm going to give a skill. I haven't seen it for a long time, but it's going to get a hard skill from me.
It gets a skill. It's a skill. It's good.
Yeah, definitely skill. Waterboy's great.
Yeah. Excellent.
Good, funny movie.
Then was Big Daddy. Now, I remember that being a bit pig swillish. So he was Sonny Koufax in that one. A bit schmaltzy with that little kid that ended up on Friends as Ross's kid later on. Yeah, so pig swill for me.
Swill.
Swill. Then into, this is more a Rob Schneider bit, but Juice Bigelow, Male Gigolo. So he actually had a voice cameo in this one. So I'm going to give it pig swill. Do you guys think any better of this than I remember?
Oh, look, it's funny. It's funny in bits.
There's funny bits.
Yeah,
I'm pig swill with that.
I'm swill with it.
There's some,
all right.
There's some good and some bad.
Pig swill.
Only one in 2000.
Freak!
Only one in 2000. Little Nicky.
That's Jack and Jill.
Yeah, Jack and Jill. Okay, why so bad? Yeah, Whitey.
It's just shit. His voice in it. I'm not big with Sandler putting voices on because he does that ridiculous voice that he do from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
and I hate it. And I just think Little Nicky is terrible. It's a steaming hot pile of thud.
Yeah,
I think I watched it once when it came out because it's Adam Sandler, and I was like, I got to watch his next installment, and yeah, not a good movie.
Nah, shit ass.
All right, excellent. 2001, there were 2 films that he executive produced and had a cameo in, Gow. First one was Joe Dirt. The next one was The Animal. So, look, we're going to pass those because he wasn't credited as a performer in that one. So we're going to go right through to 2002. Mr. Deeds, Skill, Pig Swill, or Jack and Jill. I'm going to give it Pig Swill.
Pig Swill for me.
Well, I'm on the fence between skill and pig swill. Oh, pig swill. We'll go with pig swill.
Righto.
It's got some funny bits. I don't mind that movie. It's got some funny bits in it. It's a typical Adam Sandler movie.
It is. Here's where it gets interesting, though. Whitey, Paul Thomas Anderson pops up as not a favoured by Whitey, probably not as reviled as Wes Anderson, his brother, not his brother, but Punch Drunk Love. So Adam Sandler's turn in a serious acting role with a bit more dramedy, I guess. But I'm going to give it skill. What did you guys think?
I'm probably I'd err on skill, but it's probably pig swill for me.
Ooh.
It's okay. Like I love PTA. I think he's a great director.
Yep.
I'm not huge on Punk Truck Love, to be honest. I've seen it once.
Gow?
Gow's not seen it. He's conspicuous in his absence.
I'm abstaining from voting on this one.
All right. Well, we won't dive into that, but I would recommend you go and check that out. Also in 2002, The Hot Chick. It was a cameo appearance in that one, but that was when the Wayans dressed up as white chicks. Is that one, or is that called White Chicks?
No, it's the hot chick is Schneider again in a role
Oh
reversal
yeah,
film.
that's right. I'm going to give it's Pig Swill.
It's Swill.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Swill.
Excellent. All right. 2003. Let's keep cranking. Anger Management.
Skill.
Yeah.
I don't mind anger management.
Good flick.
Jack Nicholson.
Good flick. Skill.
Yeah.
I liked it. There's some
Skill.
funny bits. There's some really funny bits in that movie.
Yeah, I didn't mind that. It's good.
2004 was a good one for me. 50 First Dates and Spanglish, and I'm going to give both of them skill.
I like 50 First Dates. It's a skill. I'm pig swill for Spanglish.
Okay.
Yeah, the same with me. I really liked 50 First Dates. Those two have got good chemistry. We talked about earlier.
Spanglish is okay.
Spanglish was. I remember watching it, thinking it was okay. I'm neither here nor there with that one.
All right. 2005, The Longest Yard. So a remake of a remake of a remake. I don't remember thinking much of it. Could probably take or leave it. Don't think I'll be watching it again. I think I Marie Kondo'd that fucker many years ago. I'm going to give it a pig swill. What do you guys think?
I give it skill. I watched it about 3 months ago. It's not bad.
Okay.
It's not bad.
There's some good actors in it. There's some good parts.
Yeah,
in it.
but
the original with
Burt Reynolds
is
is in it as well.
And then
it's
they
a great
made
movie.
a Vinnie Jones one about soccer, football as well.
Yes.
Like it's definitely been made and remade several times. So
yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
look, I might have been a bit harsh. I wouldn't call it skill, but yeah, probably something.
No, well, it's not pig swill, but
it's in between.
It's
sort of in between there.
Yeah.
Look, this guy has done so many bloody movies. I'm gonna just pick a few out of here. So, Funny People. So again, more of a dramedy role, a Judd Apatow bit where he played a comedian opposite Judd's real life wife, with also with Seth Rogen in there. I think it's skill as. Really enjoy Funny People. I've watched it recently as well. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I like it. It's skill.
Yep, skill for me.
Excellent. Yep. Grown Ups franchise. It hasn't played on my TV yet, but I can imagine with kids it's something that might have crossed your screens. That was 2010.
Yeah, I've watched them a lot.
Yeah.
I like Grown Ups, the original one.
The first one's excellent.
It's funny because there's a lot of banter between all of them as mates, and I think that's what makes it funny.
Yeah.
And they're all very friendly off screen.
Yeah, they're all mates. Yeah. They're all mates.
That's a skill for me on that one.
The second one is sort of jumps the shark a bit, but it's got some good bits in it.
Yeah.
But
it's the same old jokes.
It's got that fucking Taylor Lautner from Twilight who is horrific, and they play like the college kids who are macho, and it's just annoying. It's watchable, but the first one is excellent.
Grown Ups skill.
Yeah.
Excellent. Blended. You mentioned that before, Whitey. So you thought that was
it's another one I took.
I haven't seen
the
it.
Kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took the kids to the movies to see it. Look, it's not ideal. It's Barrymore and Sandler again. They're two single parents who end up inadvertently going on holiday together. It's pretty funny. Like it's actually pretty funny. It's not a great movie, but it's one of those ones where you can just have a laugh.
Yeah. Okay.
So I didn't mind. I'll give it skill. I've seen it quite a few times.
All right, we'll take your word. Pixels.
Oh, I really wanted to like this, but I'm giving it pig swill.
Yeah.
I really wanted to like it, but it's pig swill.
Yeah.
Yep.
No idea.
Yeah, excellent.
Joshy would probably like that. Joshy would like that.
Excellent. All right. Well, look, wrapping it up. It gets into the Netflix years pretty soon when The Ridiculous 6 is released. So I tried to watch this. I'm going to give this Jack and Jill. It was fucking atrocious. And obviously he's getting paid a heap. He gets to put his mates in the movies with him. But why is really the only question that comes out of that particular flick for me. Did you boys see it any differently?
Jack and Jill.
Yeah.
Jack and Jill.
I haven't seen it. I've heard Jack and Jill, but it actually made a heap of money.
It's horrific.
Like it's one of the highest grossing Netflix movies.
Wow.
It's horrific.
But that might have just played on the star power.
It's horrific.
Oh, of course it did. But
well, it was his first Netflix foray. So no one knew what they were getting themselves into, and it's shit house.
Now, Noah Baumbach, which I generally enjoy his films, but I couldn't finish the My Wit stories, new and selected. I don't know why I don't think it would have been something you would have gravitated towards.
I didn't even watch it.
Yeah, look, I wouldn't recommend it. I
don't even know what we're talking about.
Murder Mystery. Have you seen that one recently? Whitey, you might have seen that.
Yeah, I've seen it. I didn't like it. They've just released a second one on Netflix, Murder Mystery 2. Luke watched Murder Mystery, really liked it, but I thought it was terrible. I didn't get through it.
Yeah, no.
Jack and Jill.
Yeah, Jack and Jill. Good enough for me. And the last one, last two. He's released 2 flicks recently, which I think have been absolutely excellent. The first one is Uncut Gems, which was a Josh and Benny Safdie flick. Absolute skill. I had no idea what it was going to be like, and I would encourage everyone who listens to this to go out and watch it tonight.
Hard watch.
Yeah, it's a great flick, but super. Yeah, really different. Not what I expected, and I don't want to give anything away, but you should go and watch it. And Hustle was the most recent flick I've seen.
Oh, yeah, Hustle was great.
Hustle is 1,000% skill. That is a great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Excellent. Let's leave it there. But we could go on forever. I literally left out about 30 films that we could have been talking about. But I guess what I wanted to point out was just I don't know that there's a director, actor, performer that has such troughs and valleys between his performances and quality of movie. Like there is to call a film Jack and Jill, which is in homage to his own film Jack and Jill, which is the worst movie on record. But then to do things like Uncut Gems and Happy Gilmore and Hustle and Punch Drunk Love and some films that are absolutely excellent. It is quite amazing that someone is able to still thrive, having done such shit and such incredible films as well.
There's a bit of Eddie Murphy in there.
That's probably a good point.
Eddie Murphy's done a lot of good stuff, and then he's got some real crackers in there.
Absolutely. And maybe it's a comedian thing, maybe because it's so difficult to have a great comedy movie. I mean, maybe you just do a heap of misses until you get the occasional absolute skills. So, yeah, anyway, that was it. He's very prolific, old mate Adam Sandler. So a few in there, the F-wits that we would encourage you to go and see, and quite a few that we would say don't fucking bother. Well played.
Yeah, well done. Well done. And another great film school for F-wits, and we are now moving into Kick-Ass credit song. Stan Bush's Kick-Ass credit song.
This is a difficult one because it would actually fit well a Stan Bush Kick-Ass credit song in this film. So I think
I'm on the stage. It was not easy to write because there's a lot of quality songs that just go around in your head. When I was trying to write this, all I could hear was the songs of the movie. But anyway, I'll give it a crack. So here's my Stan Bush Kick-Ass credit song. I'm not going to tell you what the name of the song is. I'll just let you work it out. Okay, here we go. Matt on the stage, Kick-Ass credit song. I get your medicine when your tummy aches. No, that's not it. Okay, we'll start again. Here it is. It's called Wedding Singer. I used to wear spandex and sing in a band. I had the pick of the ladies. It was Linda I'd land, a quintessential groupie. She was all for the fame. When I was a wedding singer, she thought I was lame. I was jilted and filtered and left at the altar. That new waitress, Julia, I couldn't falter. Short blonde hair and a rack under there. A dress and Doc Martens, such 80s fare. I was trapped in the friend zone like Whitey in the 90s. I had to change my tact to take off her nightie. I should have banged a mate. She was there for the taking. I wasn't for the quickie. I wanted love making. I'm a wedding singer with a song in my heart. On a plane and my plan is a wedding. I will stop. I will sing her a song from the seats in first class. Billy's mate will bash her boyfriend, then I'll ravage her ass. I'm a wedding singer and Glenn is a grub. Now, did I hear someone murmur the Mile High Club?
Very good. Well done.
That sounds like a G joint. It sounds like he wrote the lyrics and you sung them. So very detailed.
Yeah, I couldn't get to any sort of bridge or chorus or anything, and it was kept going verse. And I'm thinking, this is like,
where's my hook?
It's Bohemian Rhapsody. Anyway,
jilted and filtered.
You like it? You like it? And left at the altar. Oh, my God. Anyway, there we go. Another terrible kick-ass credit song. Let's move into star of the show. We'll start with Dan up on the land. Who you got?
Yeah, I mean, Adam Sandler, I think I do it would be difficult for anyone else to carry this film as he does. I think it's definitely a star joint for him, and it sets up his partnership with Drew Barrymore, which went on to do at least 3 or 4 others together. Really good chemistry between those two, but very much a Sandler joint, and that's who I'll give it to.
Yeah, good pick, you go.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I think that their chemistry is really great. That was a big standout for me, but he's sort of the one that pulls us along for sure.
Absolutely. And I'm with that. That's 3 from 3, Adam Sandler. Okay, so we didn't do 1 Degree of Kurt Russell because there isn't one. So we shall move on to...
That's a couple of films in a row without our mate Kurt being linked to it. I'm getting a bit worried.
Don't worry. There'll be quite a bit moving forward. I think possibly the next 6 or 7 weeks might be have a 1 Degree of
excellent
1 Degree of Kurt Russell. So we're going to move into the rank bank, and we've got a few options to choose from here. We have got Cursed Van Halen t-shirts. We've got Miami Vice reruns. We've got red leather zipper jackets. We've got drunk best man speeches. We've got black satin sheets. We've got mirrored headboards. And we've got whorish best friends with a heart of gold.
It's good. What about leopard print undies?
Yeah, leopard print undies is good. Dan, any suggestions?
Yeah, I like the whorish friend with a heart of gold. So I think that's for me.
Okay, so we'll go with whorish best friends with a heart of gold. So, Gow, how many whorish best friends with a heart of gold are you going to give The Wedding Singer?
I'm giving you this 3.5.
3.5, okay. Like it.
It's a good movie. It's something you can throw on and have a watch and still have a laugh at. I wouldn't be going back to watch it too many times, but it's certainly, the rewatch was good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, okay. Excellent. And Dan, what about you up there on land? How many whorish best friends with a heart of gold?
Boys, I really struggled with this film. I remember it more fondly than I had with this viewing. I really didn't enjoy this reviewing. I don't know. I was bored as shit. I didn't laugh as much as I thought I remembered. I was really struck by how same the plot were and all those tropes we talked about earlier in the rom-com. I found it a bit shit, and I'm going to give it a 2.5. So fucking suck that.
Wow. Okay. Look at you. Well done.
I don't mean to shit on it, but I just got to call it like I see it. It's a fuck off, everyone.
That's fine. Look, our job's not easy all the time. Yeah. And when us industry insiders here, sometimes we've got to call a spade a spade. We're going to rub people the wrong way.
Yeah.
I am the opposite of you, Dan. This is full of nostalgia for me, this movie, and I'm going to give The Wedding Singer 4.
Whoa.
Okay. Yeah. I really enjoy this. I'll watch this again without a doubt. And so it gets a 4, whorish best friends with a heart of gold. And we're just going to check on where this actually puts it now in the rank bank, if I can find it.
Coming in at 3.33 whorish best friends with a heart of gold. It's in line with Backdraft and just above Tremors with 3.25 Land Sharks. And that brings us into 35th spot out of 49.
Okay, so it's on the back third.
Yep.
Back half.
Sitting under Catch Me If You Can, Tombstone, The Raid. That's about right.
Feels about right, yeah.
Yeah. It's above Caddyshack. It's above Caddyshack. It's above When Harry Met Sally. It's above Rock and Roller. It's above The Lost Boys. You tried your best, Dan. You tried your best.
Yeah. I like where it's sitting. I have no remorse yet.
Yeah, excellent. No, that's fair enough. If you loved The Wedding Singer, what are you going to love? We'll start with you, Gow.
Well, I mean, the obvious one is to look at something like 50 First Dates. The same two in it. It's another nice, easy rom-com story. There's a heap of movies out there like this. Let's leave it that. I'll go with 50 First Dates.
Good choice. It's a great movie. Dan, what about you?
Yeah, this is a film about a wedding singer, but it's not my favourite wedding singer in a movie by any stretch, and I think that goes to the Dan Band. And
Dan Band.
In order to have the Dan Band, I think you need to go back to Old School from 2003. And that's also a film that I'm a bit scared to go back and watch again now because I was very, very, very fond of it when it came out. It's another one that dips in the middle third pretty badly. It starts out hugely strong, and you think this is going to be the best movie that's ever been created. goes to shit a bit when they do the ridiculous the uni trials for all the guys, and they're finding the dean, and it just gets a bit boring.
You're my boy, Blue.
Yeah,
You're my boy.
But without a doubt, my favourite wedding singer performance is the Dan Band doing a total eclipse of the heart.
Oh my god,
the best.
Every now and then I get a fucking little bit. Oh, just fantastic.
They're the best.
I'm sure you've all
watching
seen it, F-Wits, but yeah, just watch it on YouTube. Just watch that bit if you're not going to watch the whole flick. But awesome.
I was watching The Hangover came on, and they were at the end of that
They
too.
just fame.
Oh,
They
it's
sing fame.
so good. They are so good.
It's, and it never got old. Like, and it just turned up in that suite of films, and he was fantastic. So yeah, and Old School. I could watch the first third of Old School a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, Old School's great. Okay, so I'm going to keep going on with a cranking 80s soundtrack. I'm going it might even be 2008 movie, Paul, with Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, about the alien with Bateman.
They're
Sigourney
in the van life.
They're in the van life.
Yeah.
They're sort of nerds who are going to Comic-Con, and they end up running into the alien who's Seth Rogen plays him, and Jason Bateman's the man in black after them. And it's very, very funny. I watch this quite regularly.
What made you think of that?
Great soundtrack. Well, just the 80s soundtrack. I've got a massive heart on for ELO.
Yes, you
huge
do.
heart on for ELO. You know I do. Jeff Lynne. Yeah, but it's the ELO bust out a couple great songs in Paul.
Right.
It just made me think about a good 80s soundtrack. It's got a really good soundtrack to it. So
I remember buying you an ELO CD for your birthday because I saw it in the shop. I was like, I'm definitely getting that.
Was your dad into ELO as well, Whitey?
Yeah.
He loved
It started with that. My dad was big ELO. Supertramp, ELO. They were two of Dad's best.
My old man loves Supertramp.
Yeah.
Paris.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
ELO.
Big Al was into it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, ELO were massive at Amber Whitey there, and still today. I listen to them quite regularly. Mr. Blue Sky is a quality song, but
Bangles.
my dad was big on the Bangles, but that's a whole other podcast.
What's the lead singer about Bangles? Is it Susanna Hoff?
Susanna Hoffs.
She'd be 60 odd now.
Mate, have you seen
Still
her?
hot.
Mate,
still hot.
She looks 40.
Still
she looks younger than us.
Hot.
So on that note,
what do you think it is? What do you think it is that gives us our agelessness, like me and Susanna Hoff? Like what is it? Is it we're just clean living fuckers? Like what?
No,
what do you reckon it is?
I think what's helped you a lot, Daniel, is you spent some time in Japan where you lost about 30 kilos in about 4 months.
And
I'm not sure whether that was because I'm not sure whether you were shoveling snow or where it was being shoveled. What kind of snow was being shoveled where, but you definitely lost a lot of weight.
Had a good time.
Which set you on a path. You did have a good time. You lost a lot of weight, set you on a path to a new life. You grew your hair. I think a lot of it's got to do with your hair. I think that you're a bit Herculean in that way. I think that you're scared to cut your hair for fear of what it might do.
Yeah.
And I'd be willing to take the risk.
I would not, and I shall not.
All right. Okay. Look, we have got we've actually got a really big month coming up, and we're going to let the cat out of the bag of what's happening next. And there's been a bit of a administration error here, but it has been rectified, and we have got our 50th episode coming up in the next episode, which is quite amazing. We're together for 50 episodes. There's only one person here on the panel that's done all 50, and you won't have to think too much who that would be. And what we are going to do, if you don't know us much already, I think maybe after this episode, you'll know really what makes the three of us tick. And we're going to do our top 10 movies.
Ooh.
Each of us are going to call our top 10. We're going to start from 10, work down to 1. And we're going to go, each of us will randomly generate what the order will be. And then we'll keep that order all the way through from 10 to 1. So that's going to be our next episode.
We're going to actually give them a number.
Yep,
so
we're going to go
10. We're going to go 10 to 1.
This is 10. And for me,
that's tough.
I've done it. It's very difficult. I've done my list. It's not easy. And some movies I've left out are amazing. But let me put this on it that it is not what we think are the top 10 best movies of all time. So because wankers like Dan might go Citizen Kane or some Wes Anderson Moonlight Kingdom or something like this, right? But
Grand Budapest Hotel.
What it is, it's our top 10 favorite movies. And I'm sure they already know there'll probably be 2 or 3 which might cross over. But I'm interested to see what Gow you come up with.
So it's okay, though, if it's a coincidence that my top 10 are the best 10 movies of all time. That's fine.
Well, if you think they are the best 10 movies of all time, that's fine.
Brilliant.
I'm happy with that, Daniel. This is what's going to happen is that we're going to be able to spend a few minutes on each movie as we go through, and we can critique, and we want you guys to tell me why you've picked this movie in this spot, what it means to you, and then we can say whether we think you're a fucking idiot or whether we somewhat agree with you.
I'm looking forward to Gow's.
Me too.
Spoiler alert, Mad Wax is in there.
Not sure, Mad Wax.
Filthy habits.
There can be no
all down the line.
There can be no documentary surfing movies in it.
Excellent.
But anyway, so that'll be fun. And then we've got a huge 51st movie that we're going to be doing. It's going to be in the first week of May. We'll release it. We'll release on the 3rd of May, which is the day before the 4th of May, which is Star Wars Day. So for our 51st movie, we're going to be doing Star Wars A New Hope, the original, which is a movie very close to my heart and close to the three of ours. We've spent a lot of time wasted watching that film over the years, some more than others. So we'll do that one.
Interesting that our top 10 is going to be followed by Star Wars.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? It's just the way the numbers fell.
Has the subsequent Star Wars films tainted the original trilogy? I pose that as a question to our F-Wit mates. For me, fucking maybe. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about this.
Yeah. I silo them completely. I think all 3 trilogies are in their own silo. And I think there is one which is the Holy Grail, and then the other 2 which are not Holy Grails at all. The movie we're going to be doing, so you guys can get a bit of ahead of the game, and I'm just going to let Daniel know because he doesn't know this one. We've actually had a request from the barrel buyer's agent down there.
There's a handsome cat, fellow handsome cat,
Marsden, a very handsome,
Him and
cat,
and 90s gal could just fucking cut sick, I reckon.
Mate, he's still in his prime, that guy.
Yeah,
big time,
he's a
big
good-looking
time,
rooster.
just slaying it down there in barrel.
Ooh.
Oh, mate, prime barrel.
That Southern
Yeah,
Highlands toddy would just be getting it.
But we're actually, he reached out quite a bit ago, and he reached out again this week, and we went back and forth, and I said, mate, request a movie for us. So he has requested Molly's Game.
Oh yeah,
Jessica Chastain.
Yeah,
it's a good movie.
Yeah, quite recent.
Relatively new.
Yeah.
She's running the biggest poker game, card game in town. True story.
Oh,
very, very good.
And Michael Cena, he plays
yes.
he plays a very famous Hollywood actor that we'll save it for the pod. But it's excellent. Good choice, Mr. Buyer's Agent.
All-star cast in here.
It's an all-star cast. It's a cracking film.
Idris Elba, Kevin Costner.
So if you F-Wits want to get ahead of the game, Star Wars and Molly's Game are our next 2. We've got our top 10 movies will be next week for our 50th episode. And then not long after that will be our first birthday, which we'll hold back and let you know closer to the date. But it's a good one.
You'd like a bit
That's
of,
it from
you'd
us.
like a bit of Jessica Chastain, G-Man.
I think Jessica Chastain's my number 1 at the moment.
You're also a secret Fanta Panther.
She's got quite an angular face. She's quite classically beautiful.
There is some
I like
cheekbones going on, I agree.
Yeah, I like her a lot. She could be number 1.
Ooh.
I'm sure she'll be excited to hear that. Jessica, you could be my number 1. So, again, make a film at Warner Brothers Movie World here on the Goldie and, I'll hook you up.
Yeah.
She'll be on my list. She'll get a hall pass.
Get her in studio.
Hall pass? I don't want her in studio. Can't perform in front of you. And on that note, thank you, Gow. Another great episode from you as always.
Good night, everybody. See you next week.
Thank you, Daniel.
Well played, gentlemen. Thank you. That movie was a bit shit, but you two are not.
Thank you very much. We shall see you next week for our top 10 movies. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Born to Watch. To join us on our journey into some of our favourite movies of all time, you can find us on all good podcast networks like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you like what you hear, give us a 5-star review and share with your friends.